Okay, so today I am talking gut health. I received a lot of questions last week about if you think you have poor gut health, what tests are available, what do they tell you, and then what can you do from there. I have a lot of posts on gut health. All of these things I've addressed. So if you scroll back, you can find them individually, but I'm going to try and wrap it all up in one video in less than 10 minutes. So I just want to reiterate why gut health is so important. One, our immune system lives in our gut. And so if your gut health is compromised, if you have an overgrowth of bacteria or fungus or whatever, you are going to get sick more often, and you're going to be susceptible to infections you might not even know you have, and that can create further inflammation and dis-ease in the body. Second, our serotonin receptors are in our gut. That's our feel-good neurotransmitter. If your gut health is poor, you are not going to feel like your best self, and that could be anything as subtle as being moody, having brain fog, forgetful, apathetic, to being depressed, having anxiety, having ADHD. This gut health can impact all of those things. And also, if you have poor gut health, you're not going to physically feel good because probably after you eat, your stomach hurts, you get tired, you get bloated, you get reflux, you have diarrhea, you're constipated. So those are all symptoms of poor gut health. If you're not waking up in the morning and pooping within an hour of waking, your digestive system is not functioning at 100%. If you're not going to the bathroom 1 to 3 times a day, depending on what fiber you're eating, not functioning at 100%. Other indications of poor gut health can be skin issues. A skin issue is rarely a skin issue. It's usually a gut or a liver detox issue. So if you have eczema, acne, rosacea, ringworm, those are all related to root causes of things going on in the gut. So that's another reason to look at gut health. And sometimes hormones and gut health can overlap. It's kind of like a chicken and an egg thing, but if you've taken hormonal birth control, that really reduces your gut health. So, and can also cause hormonal issues. So another reason to look at gut testing. Okay, so first step is to really get an understanding of what's going on with you. And if you are the type of person that eats processed foods, eats gluten on the regular, dairy on the regular, drinks alcohol, soy, corn, all of these are highly inflammatory foods for the gut. And so if you are eating a very poor diet like that, I would suggest you cut all of those things out for 21 days and see how your gut health improves. If it doesn't improve, then it's time to do some testing. If you're already eating healthy and you have gut issues, then it's time to do some testing. The other thing we look at is your stress levels, your emotions. Gut health is really impacted by stress. So if you're a super stressed person, your gut health is going to suffer. It's really hard to digest food and to get minerals when you're stressed out, when you have a lot of emotional trauma stored in your digestive system. And so those are things to look at as well. As far as actual functional testing goes, the first test to do is organic acids testing, or the OAT test. And I have 2 very detailed posts on this. Go back and look at them. But what the OAT test looks at is an overgrowth of bacteria, fungus, yeast, and even mold in your gut. So it's very comprehensive. Another test that I do, depending on symptoms, is a stool test. And this looks at your stool over the course of 3 days and will look at the other things that I mentioned, as well as look for parasites and H. pylori. Parasites are really common. About 1 in 3 people have parasites, and you have to do a protocol to get these out of your body, or they'll keep wreaking havoc on your gut. If you've traveled to a foreign country and you got food poisoning, you probably have a parasite. You can get parasites here from dirty water, so it's really important to drink filtered water. Like salad bars, food that's left out, raw fish and meat, so sushi, undercooked meat, really higher risk for parasites, so keep that in mind. Third test, food sensitivity test, different from food allergies. With a food allergy, you're going to have a severe reaction, a very noticeable reaction within minutes to hours. Sensitivities, it's going to be hours to days. So for example, I have a gluten sensitivity. When I eat gluten, nothing happens to me immediately, but 8 hours to up to 32 hours later, I am super lethargic. I have brain fog. I just don't feel great. And that may not sound like such a big deal to a lot of people, but you do that enough, that becomes your baseline, your natural state. And not only do you not feel good, you're tired, but you're creating so much inflammation in your body and also destroying the gut lining. Fourth test, microbiome testing. So this is looking at the state of your microbiome right now. How specifically the bacteria in your gut are breaking down things, what foods, what probiotics you should take to improve that, what things you should avoid to make sure it doesn't get any worse. The company I like for this is Viome, because you can order the test yourself, and they give you tons of information. Okay. Other things I look at always, hair tissue mineral analysis. This looks at heavy metals like mercury, aluminum, super common, lead, to be overabundant in the body. Mineral balance, which is something that you have to be aware of. And sometimes hormones for females. A lot of times gut health and hormones go hand in hand. Again, look at the emotional state, work on fixing that, getting a lower stress lifestyle. And then once the results of whatever testing comes back, will really say how to rebalance and how to get rid of the problem. And so you treat candida different than bacterial overgrowth, different than a parasite, etc. And the first step would be, once you get the results, to go on a gut sensitive diet. So remove all the inflammatory foods, anything that's going to harm your gut. Do that for 21 days. Do a liver detox. Liver detox is so important, because if your liver is not functioning properly, you're not going to be getting all of this stuff out of your body. It needs to detox. It needs to get out. Those pathways need to be open. And then depending on what is found, most protocols are 12 weeks. If you have one or more things going on, something more severe, it's going to be longer. And then you can retest and then continue on with a healthy diet, lifestyle, exercise regimen, and then be aware of subtle signs when your gut might be imbalanced in the future. So, if you have any questions, if you have any of those symptoms, bloating, reflux, weight gain that won't go away, weight loss that's really unexplained, gas, abnormal bowel movements, something that you either want to look at your diet really closely, or you want to look at doing testing. And the testing that's recommended depends specifically on your symptoms. You definitely need someone who can read and interpret functional labs, and then who can put you on a specific protocol, and then really someone who can follow you through this process. I wouldn't say it's extremely difficult for most people, but it's not easy, and it does require some guidance and checking in. So hopefully that is helpful. Any questions, definitely reach out and let me know. Have a good one.